So last week we started making a journal. This is not the first journal we've made. It's not anything we had to. It's not anything you have to do. Matter of fact, holy crap. Matter of fact, in the early part of summer, we made this little bitty small journal. So it's pretty easy to do. Tonight we're going to finish making the big journal. So be sure and stay tuned for that. And then cue the theme music. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Artistic Biker, live from Houston, America. God's country. It's God's country. It's beautiful here. Oh my God. It's cool enough. It's getting down to 75 at night. And the next couple of nights it's supposed to actually be 73. We might be able to open a damn window. Oh my God. Just the idea of being able to open a window. You don't know what it's like. There's 7 humans and 5 dogs. I just want to open a window. Okay, people normally wait till spring cleaning. We wait for winter. Okay, so last week on The Artistic Biker, we got as far as cutting out and folding all of the signatures. Those are the individual portions of the books that will need to be sewn together. And we glued together the backboard of the book. You'd think I would have taken this time in the meantime to learn the terminology, but really that's just not my style. There are things I care about and there are things I know, and this wasn't either of those things. But we used some old cardboard and one of my sketches from a lab that I had done. Ooh, look, it's a hand. One of the sketches from a lab I had done. When we're done with this, we'll seal that with Mod Podge decoupage and finish that up. But we measured all that out. We cut that out. Be sure and tune into last week's episode to see if you want instruction. There are way better places to go for instruction on how to make a journal than here. But by God, we're going to continue to make one. I'm going to cheat. Let me run through some materials real quick because, hey Terry, let me run through some materials real quick just so you know. This was an old cardboard box. This was a 24 by 18 sheet of mixed media watercolor paper from a sketchbook that I drew a hand in. And we actually had to reinforce the edges. We had to actually extend the edges because it wasn't quite big enough. I could have cut the book down smaller, but I didn't. So there's that. Anyway, so then we have the grocery sacks, which are going to go in there like that. And they're just grocery sacks. You can tune in last week to see how we cut the grocery sacks up. You don't have to use grocery sacks. You don't have to use paper. You don't have to use cheap paper. You can go buy good paper. You can go buy Strathmore watercolor paper and do all kinds of really neat stuff. But while we're talking about it, you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to make anything. You can go get you something as simple. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. You can go get you something as simple as a sketchbook like this. I like the mixed media ones, but you don't have to use the mixed media ones, especially since we gesso all the pages so the paint won't bleed through. You can get a sketchbook like this and be just fine with it. Matter of fact, we started back in 2009. Where is it? Right here. In 2009, this is the journal I started the show with. This was a store-bought sketchbook. It had a hard black backing to it, and we just gessoed it and went through all the pages with it. So I still like this page with its pockets and its rawr! But this was the very first book we used on the show, and it was store-bought. There's nothing wrong with it. You can see that it gets a little bunched up and the pages kind of stick together. And there's ways to avoid that by ripping a few pages out. go through and rip out every third page, and then you save them because you can use them for collage or whatever. But go through and rip out about every third page so that you've got room within your spiral for your gesso and everything that's going to add room to it. Excuse me. I have this weird cough from my allergies all the time. I know you don't care about this because my analysis shows that whenever I start talking about it, you guys disappear. But I have this weird cough. And I don't have a cough button. But the funny thing about it is whenever I try to just cough, I'd love to just cough, but it makes me hiccup. And so I'm like, and even a fake cough makes me hiccup. So I can't just cough it up. I have to go, yeah. It's funny. I know that grosses everybody up. Okay, so you don't have to make a journal. You can do just as well with any store-bought sketchbook like that. I like to make them. I bought the first one. I've made every one ever since. And so, like I said, so far we've got the backing made. This is cardboard from an Amazon box. This is a paper from the cover is paper from another sketchbook, a bigger sketchbook, and the paper that I'm using for the books themselves is grocery sacks. And what I want to do right now is because I was damned rabbits. I was running through some materials. Let me show you what we're going to use tonight. We're going to use, where's my journal box? I have a box called the journal box of dedicated materials. And in my journal box I have some string. I had to buy more string because this is just classic crochet thread. My youngest daughter, girl 2, she made off with my string for some ungodly reason. I have yarn. I'm sorry, this is not yarn. This is ribbon. I have ribbon that you can tell I've used quite a bit of it. I've probably had this for 4 or 5 years, and you can tell how much of it I have used because this is all I ever do with it. And I only do this once a year. I have a wax candle. I have sewing needles. These are tapestry needles. The big metal ones, if you're going to use the big metal ones, I suggest that you use a thimble. I am not going to use a big metal one. I'm going to use a big plastic one, and probably still going to use a thimble because I find that these somewhat hurt. So there's that. You could use dental floss. I have used dental floss in the past. We wax the string so that when we gesso the pages and we use water media in the pages, it doesn't damage the string. It doesn't rot the string, and also because it helps the string glide through the seams when we sew it up. So we use wax on the string. You could use dental floss. For this kind of journal, though, I find the dental floss is a little thin, so I'm not going to use that tonight. These are just empty canisters of bubbles. Don't ask me why they're in my journal box. There's really no telling. So, okay, and then we're going to use, in our endeavors tonight, I have some paint sticks that I bought because God knows where my other paint sticks are. But these little 5-gallon paint sticks, you can get a set of 3 5-gallon paint sticks for 88 cents at Walmart here in Houston, America. It might be 4. I'm not really sure. 3 or 4. This is 3. This is obviously 3. So there's 3 in a set for 88 cents. It's not a lot of money. Grocery sacks you get because the guys at the grocery store double sack your milk. Cardboard. If you're ordering from Amazon, you've got cardboard boxes laying all over the place, and I hope to hell you're sketching, and you're sketching big. The only other thing I'm going to use some Mod Podge, and I'm going to use a stapler, and I'm going to use a power drill and alcohol. Lots and lots of alcohol. You'll want a board to put under things if you're going to use a power saw or a nail or even a little tappy thingy. When you punch your holes, when you punch your holes for sewing, you'll want a board underneath it to protect your desktop. But But that's it. That's it as far as materials go. Really, really not complex. I'm really surprised that I had most of it ready to go. The one night we made one of these things and I didn't have anything ready to go. I had to make a needle from I made a needle from a hey Pamela, I made a needle from a paper clip and stabbed the crap out of my thumbs. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Best show ever. Can you hear the dogs barking? There's a dog. This is a running joke. I would never harm one of these dogs. You have to understand, I would never harm one. I haven't got to the waxing the string. We talked about why Pamela's in the chat room asking to repeat how we wax the string. We've not talked about how we're going to wax the string. We've only talked about why we wax the string. So I haven't got there yet, Pamela. I promise I will, though. But can you... I always talk mean about these dogs. I would never harm one of these dogs. But they got a dog in there that's this big. He's this big. And I keep joking about how it just shocked me. The way he jumped over the 8-foot fence in the backyard and ended up on the busy intersection across the street and got hit by a car. I don't know how it happened. I never for the life of me imagined a dog this big that yips like that. Oh, the flipping time could clear a fence that tall. Shocking. So, okay. So back to what we were doing. Alrighty. So, let's start with the signatures. Once we have the signatures folded, which is what we did last week, and we had basically all we did was rip apart the grocery sacks and then cut them so that they were once we had them unfolded, we cut them in exactly in half. So we had one side, the other side makes a whole grocery sack, right? And then we laid them down into 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets folded in half. And we're calling that a signature. Right? We're calling that a signature. Now, the likelihood of ever, because those edges are uneven, I didn't use a paper cutter. I did nothing to make that even. Even tapping it out is not going to make that even because of how unevenly it was cut or torn or whatever. And it turns out I like that best. So in my book, I'm going to leave it that way. But I have to have a way to even it up so that when I sew, the holes line up. There are lots of ways to do that. I've used a paper clip. I've used a fancy way to clip the boards together. But I think the easiest way is once you have it put together a little bit, I'm going to take a stapler and I'm going to staple it right there. Kroger's, I know you saw that. I know you saw that fold. Kroger's, give me a call. You should be sponsoring me. Now I stapled it on one side over there. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to depend on that staple to hold it all together. I'm going to pinch it all together to make sure the seams, make sure that the fold stays together. I'm going to staple it again on the other side. Right, that's going to hold that signature together, and I'm going to do that to all 4 signatures because I'm just that cool. Make sure I open it up to the middle. There's a light right here in my eyes. I don't know how that happens. Every time it's a different light. I keep moving lights. So make sure the seam is together. Make sure the fold is together. Right? Make sure the pages are semi-straight. I'm going to staple it. Whatever else happens after that doesn't really make any difference. As long as the holes line up when you go to sew it together. That's the important part. Now I hope to hell you have not tuned into this show to learn how to make a book, because I promise you there are way better places out there to learn how to make a book. This is more like, you should be watching this more like the way people watch NASCAR. You should be waiting for the wrecks. You should all have a bowl of popcorn. You should all have bets on whether or not I bleed during the episode, how much alcohol I'm going to go through, how many times I cry. I mean, there's lots of things that could go wrong. And then, I could just have one of those perfect nights where the book just comes together like magic. And it's all well organized and stylish. But that's just not our style. Alright, that should hold all of my signatures together and even, so that when I punch the holes will all line up. And so now I'm going to put my signatures together. I'm going to open them up and put them together so that I can drill all the holes at one time. Oh, where are my clips? I forgot my clips. I'm using those clips now. Oh. Okay, I still need clips. Hang on. I still need clips. Glad I remembered it. You'll need to think about this when you go to collect your inventory. I have these. I have this collection of clips from Home Depot. They usually put them on sale, and that's when I try to find. That's when I try to buy them. I usually watch the app to see when these things go on sale, and you get all these clips for really cheap. Like I got this set of clips for like $3. This is my block of wood to make sure that I don't drill into my tabletop. Right? Now, this part is to hold all the signatures together so that they don't move once I start drilling holes. And that's where these sticks are going to come into handy. These sticks are really going to come into play throughout this. These paint sticks are really going to come into play throughout this. Pamela says, "Oh, I am so here to learn. You better not. You darn better do it right." You know better. You know better. We've done this show for 9 years. I don't think I've ever done it without a trip to the emergency room. Okay. So let's start with making sure that this end is clipped in place. You know what, this stick's a little long. I'm going to break this handle off. There we go. I just broke the handle off. These stirring sticks have a handle on the end of them. They're great for, well, that's a different type of show. So, anyway, I broke the handle off and evened up. We're going to even the signatures up so that the seams line, the crease. That's the word I've been looking for. We want the crease to line up. I'd like the crease to be somewhere in the middle of that board, right? Same thing on this end. Try to get that crease somewhere towards the center of that board, like that. And plug it. Alright, now we need a measuring device. Where's my ruler? You'd think I would have listed the ruler. We need a death shroud and a wheelbarrow. We should have listed that when we were talking about our assets. Did my wife steal her ruler back? Would she do that? Oh, she's that way. Hang on, let me get a tape measure. Just inside the door here. Hang on. I know that because I was just digging out that drill bit. Okay. So now we're going to, that didn't matter. I got a Sharpie here. I'm going to measure this out. You have to figure out, based on the size of your book, how many, and the size of your ribbon too. Matter of fact, I'm going to cut a little piece of ribbon off just for this. Okay. So our ribbon is Our ribbon is 3/4 of an inch. No. Is our ribbon right at an inch? Yeah, it's just under an inch. Just under an inch. 7/8. What does it say on here? 7/8. Woo! Okay, so our ribbon is 7/8, so an inch is probably good, because we're going to want our ribbon to go under the sewing on the outside. Okay, so let's find the middle of this thing. The middle of this thing is it's about 16 inches. So the middle of this thing is right at 8 inches, or about 8 inches rather. So a 1/2 inch on either side of 8. You can tell I'm stressed about accuracy, right? So if we go 1 inch at a time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be fine. Okay, so now we want to go every inch. Again, very scientific. Very scientific. I can't even get the damn thing to be up against there. Okay, so it's very scientific. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want to go another one? I could go another one. It doesn't matter. If I go 5 and 5, that's 11. 11 holes. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do one more. Let's go 6. And so let's do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, very scientific. 3, 4, 5, 6. Very scientific. So let's see. On the inside, on the outside, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the dot side to mark the outside. So there's an outside stitch. 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 There's an outside stitch, and there's an outside stitch. All right. And then that's an inside. Wait, hang on. That's an inside stitch. 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 And that's an inside stitch. Okay, so what that means is that when I stitch this, the inside stitches will be visible when you open the book. They're the ones that are going to be inside in the signature. And I think we need to do it exactly opposite. Because the way this is right now, our outside stitch is going to end up with the end pieces sticking up inside the book. And I don't want the end pieces sticking up inside the book. So we're going to make the end pieces stick outside the book. So we're going to sew from the outside in. Does that make sense? It'll make more sense when we get to it. So what I'm saying is that we're going to start, once we drill all these holes, we're going to sew this way, and then out this way, and in this way, and then out this way, and in this way, and out this way. So that when our end strings are inside the cover, but not facing the reader. Who snuck in? Hey, Carol. Okay. So we've got our pages pushed together, clipped together. Everything should not be moving. We have a backboard so we don't damage our excuse me, so we don't damage our tabletop. 1, 2. Don't touch them, they're hot. 3. I think I went through my tabletop anyway. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just kind of eyeballing it. 10. I touched the drill bit a minute ago. Man, my fingers are burning. 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that's all we need the drill for. So, you can see that our holes went all the way through to the other side. You can see that we went into our backboard. And if I move the backboard, I don't need these clips anymore. Well, I may need these clips. Let's not lose the clips because that's going to come in handy. Alright, so let's move our backboard. You can see we did go through the backing of our book. And into the tabletop. Yeah! Okay, be better about it than me. That's all I'm saying about this series. I'm moving this out of the way. I don't want to damage this anymore. Be better at it than me. Still haven't gone to the hospital, so far I'm 1 for 9. Okay. Now we have all of our holes drilled. Hey Blade, most people using all. Doesn't burn your fingers. Hey Carol, I am not most people. The first time I did this, I used a sledgehammer and a tiny nail. I went bang, and I almost crushed my fingers. It was hilarious. The reason I do this way is to demonstrate that it can be weird. Okay, so there's that and that. Let's take the first signature. I know most people use and all. I've already gone through the tools people are supposed to use. I'm talking about how I do it. Okay, so string. You can use an ice pick. You can use a hammer and a nail. I use the drill. So here's our string. Where's the end of our string? If I shake it long enough, the end of the string turns up. So we want to measure. We want to kind of measure. I mean, not really measure so much as, you know, I'm not fussy people. So the string needs to go that long, right? But we have 4 signatures, so we need it to be 4 times that length. So 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to give it an extra one just because I have not before and ended up regretting it. Carol says, Lordy, we all know that. Okay, so I am not most people. Okay, so that is all this string is for. That is why this string lasts me forever. That's why my beautiful girl 2 managed to steal my string without me noticing it because I never use it again. So I'll take this opportunity to take what little string I have left and tape the end down so the thing does not come unwound in the box. You can't even see what I'm doing. Good Lord. I used to have a producer. Okay, so I took the string and I measured. I'm on the wrong camera. And I measured that it would be about this long. And I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to grow on so that I had extra string. And then once I cut the string, I taped the string down to that. And where's the box? Boxy, 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 boxy. Okay, there's the box. Okay. So, now we have the string. The box has the plastic needle in it. Crap. I have stuff stacked everywhere. Why did I put the plastic needle back in here? I don't want to use a metal needle. Of course I'm a natural blue. Oh, here it is. Well, there's the thimble. There it is. Okay. So there's the thimble, there's the plastic needle, there's the candle. Okay, so we can't see what you're doing. Change cameras. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the heads out there, Pamela. Help me. I'm trying to learn. Okay, so let's start with waxing the string. So you want to wax the string to kind of make it waterproof. You just want to make it so that the water and the stuff doesn't soak into the string, doesn't rot the string. if you use any oil or acrylic, the plastics and stuff can rot the string, can cut the string. Waxing the string kind of prevents the wet media from soaking into the string, and it helps lubricate the string going through the pages. So let's take the string, and we'll take the candle, and you can see where I've done this before. You can see the cuts into the candle. So it's a really, hang on, what's going on in the chat? Change cameras, we can't see what you're doing. Help me, I'm trying to learn. Feel free. Sorry, had to check on my mom. Not sure, CB, LOL. What, did CB ask a question? I don't know. Oh, where in Texas? Where am I? Or where's my husband's delivering machinery? Okay. APG Jamie, hey y'alls. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take that string, and I'm going to go long ways, because otherwise I'm just going to continue to cut through like a Lord of the Rings or a Dark Crystal kind of thing. So we're going to take that string, and we're just going to pull it across the wax. See what I'm doing? I'm just pulling it. I'm keeping it tight against the wax, and I'm just pulling it across the wax. We're going to do this a couple of times. This will also help keep it from knotting up. We're going to go across the wax a couple of times. And then we get to the end. Turn your candle. Wrap your string around a different way. And start pulling it across the wax again. Keep it. See how tight I'm keeping it? Keep it tight. Keep it tight. Might do it one more time. Might do it one more time. We're just pulling it across that wax candle, just to smear the heat. The heat from the friction of pulling the string across there is enough to melt the wax onto the string. But this friction is also enough to cut your candle in half, so be careful. And you don't have to do this. You can buy string pre-waxed. You can use dental floss. You don't have to do this. It's just, we've come this far, we may as well. It also makes your string a little thicker, and it makes it where it doesn't try to knot so much. Exactly, and it helps to keep the knot in place. That's right. It makes your string quite knotty. Oh, everything. One thing I love about this big, thick needle is you just poke the string through it. You just poke the string through it. Just bam, the string's poked through it. Just bam, right? Don't even have to worry about it. Boom, string's poked through it. Okay. So, we decided we're going to start from the outside. I may not have made my hole big enough. That'll work. Okay, we're going to pull it through. We want to leave a tail. That's why we left plenty of room. We're leaving a tail about, I don't know, I'm going to leave a tail about 6 to 8 inches long. Right? And we're going to go through, and we're just going to go in and out. The staples are going to keep our pages from moving. Where's my thimble? Seriously. I don't like the way it hurts. I may have to move to a metal needle. Really? Because I didn't drill my holes big enough? I've never had this problem before. Alright, let's move to a metal needle. I've obviously had this problem before. I wouldn't have already had the metal needles. You must have used the wrong drill bit, but it's a good thing we have the metal needles. Ew, did I have one out? I know I already have a package open. There's an open package. There's a package. There's an open package. There's another plastic needle that I thought was lost forever. Alright, there's a metal needle. Put the string back in there. Now we really need the thimble. Find the end of this. Poke it through the metal needle. It still went through. Poke it through the metal needle. Alright, now we shouldn't have any problems at all because that hole's definitely big enough for that metal needle. Whew, out it goes. Alright. And then this is your life for the next, I don't know, hour or so, 20 minutes, forever. This is it. This is what you're doing. In and out. Now, this is when, for entertainment purposes, I really wish that we had done like Julia Child, where I was just showing you how to do it, and then we already had one. And now we'll just take this one out of the oven that we previously prepared for you. But that's not our style. I'll tell you what though, the staple thing, that was really helpful. When you go to tighten it, you're going to find that sometimes the strings are kind of loose for you. Like that right there is too loose. When it's loose like that, you want to make sure you pull along the crease. You don't want to try to tighten it. You don't want to pull this way because it'll just tear out. You want to tighten it against the crease. But it makes it really nice when the holes are nice and big and the paper's nice and secure, and the whole thing can't just come undone on you. It makes it kind of nice. Right? Alright. So like I said, when you get to that point, you want to make sure you tighten it along the crease. You don't want to tighten against the crease. You want to be parallel to the crease, not perpendicular to the crease. So grab both ends, pull it like that, and you got a nice even crease. See, this is the inside, right? Yeah, because our tails are on the outside. The magic of television. So okay, so there's that. And look how much our tail on this end. We left 6 to 8 inches on this end, and we still lost some of it. So okay, so we got, but luckily we're not going to pull any more on that. So that's that one. Now, I'm going to take this board and I'm going to take some clips. I'm going to use the smaller clips that I have hanging around the studio. Hopefully I can find one more, because these big clips are too much. Bull clips. You really only need bull clips for this. Great big paper clips would work fine. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That one's perfect. Look at how pretty that is. It's so cute and tiny. Because it's this the only purpose of this is to hold this page like a bookmark. Hold it right there for me like a bookmark. That's all I want to do. Right? Okay. Now, let's get the next signature. Ah, goodness. So here's the next signature. Fold that over. And in the same fashion, we came out the top of this one. We're going to go in the top of this one. In the exact same fashion. here's where it gets interesting. When I come out of this one, when I come out of this one, I'm going to go into this one. And that's going to fill that void from before. Alright? So then we'll pull it back through. I'm going to go back through there. Anyway, I think you guys get the gist. We're going to go through here. Well, this one we're privilegedly prepared. Okay. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. Oh, it's important that you not miss. So I sent the kids are gone to the movies tonight. Now that I've explained, this is all we're doing for the next, I don't know, hour, 20 minutes, whatever. This is all we're doing. We're just sewing. And so we're sewing in one signature, out one signature, into the other, into the next. And that's our life. So now we can talk. Now we can, don't let this get knotted up around things. Make sure that you don't get so distracted that you let it get knotted up. Okay, so the kids have gone to the movies tonight. I gave the eldest kids some money to take the youngest kids to the movies. And so the house is eerily quiet. I did that because my beautiful young bride is upstairs, sick in bed with the plague. She has strep throat, which, as a school teacher, is a miserable thing anyway. But for a school teacher, it's incredibly bad because, you know, the kids don't care. The kids take advantage of it. The kids are like, "Oh, you're sick? But does that mean that can we go ahead and do what we want to do? Because you're sick and stuff." And you're like, "I don't care. I'm sick." I hate all of you. Not true. She doesn't hate them. Whew. So the house is eerily quiet. So there's nobody to come sing. There's nobody to paint with me on the other side of the table. As fast as this is going, they may come back before we're done. Look there. Look, it's trying to knot up on us. Naughty string. Don't let your string knot up. If it starts to knot up, stop and scold it. Make sure that string knows who's boss. Some of these knots I truly do not understand. I couldn't tie these knots if I had to. And yet here they are, out of the blue, impeding my progress. There we go. That is because the string is getting twisted. And I could stop and I could hang the needle. I think I will. Ow! Dang it! There. we can stop right there for just a second. We can hang the needle and let it twist like we're scrying for lovers. You can't see exactly what I'm doing, but just understand that I hung it like a plumb bob and let it spin a couple of times. And that should take some of the tangle out of it. Now, I thought about experimenting with different types of journals. I thought about, and this is not the first type of bookmaking there ever was, right? I mean, we know they used scrolls and stuff before, and so I thought about maybe doing something like that, like one of those, like a scroll, or I don't know. They used scrolls for a long time. This is called a codex type book. The first codex type books were predominantly around the 1st century AD. They used scrolls before then, and wax tablets before then, but mostly all they were keeping track of was royal orders and purchase receipts and deeds and stuff like that. Then they started writing poetry. But it was too expensive to just write poetry on a wax tablet or to chisel it out onto what do they call them? A diptych. Diptychs. They used to use tablets, and they would hinge the tablets together and call it a diptych. And if they hinged multiple pages together, they call it a polytech. Uh-oh. I think we're done. We are done. Okay, that's the first 2 signatures sewn together. So now we're going to stop with our first 2 signatures, and you can see we ended up with our tail on the same end. Our first signature, if you look inside of our first signature, you can see that all of the pieces are there, right? All of the, it's a solid row. I have to hold that closer to the camera. There you go. You can see it's a solid row. If you look between the signatures, if we can look between the signatures, we've got to figure out where between the signatures is. There you go. If you look between the signatures, it's joined at each one. And then if you look in the middle of this signature, it's just every other one. Alright? Okay, so let's stop. Fort Worth is only 3 hours away from me, Terry. So let's stop. And here's the tail from our first signature. I want to pull that way. So here's the tail from our first signature. And I'm going to pull this way on it. And it should be every other one. So it's this one, and 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 this one. Okay? I want to, like I said, I want to pull parallel to the signature. I don't want to pull away from the signature. I want to pull parallel to the signature. Now I'm going to move this board because this signature is completed, right? But this signature is not. So I'm going to put this board here, and I'm going to clip both of these, the first signature to the second signature, just to make it easy to hold things together and apart, if that makes sense. I want to hold it both together and apart. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, now I'm going to take this part and I'm going to pull this string tight. I want to pull it tight there. I'm going to pull it tight there. I'm going to come down here and pull it tight. I'm going to come down here and pull it tight. I'm going to pull it here, here, and here, and here, and here, and then ultimately here. And that will tie the two signatures closely together. And we'll add our third signature. Where were we? Hey, Pensacola. Oh my goodness. We're doing this live in front of a live internet audience. No blood yet, Pensacola. It doesn't mean there won't be. Just hasn't been any yet. I did stab my fingers earlier, but luckily there was no blood. Hey, Miss Sally, when did you sneak in? I missed that. Oh, there you are, right there. Hi, guys. When did Pensacola get here? Forever ago. Wow. Injury number 2. They are keeping track. Are there bets? Okay, so into the out or out to the in. No, it was into the out. Whatever. Come from the outside to the inside. Oh, I have a knot again. Naughty, naughty, naughty. When I tried to unspin my string a second ago, my needle came off. Again, I'm going to reiterate. If you are here to learn how to make a journal, you are probably going to be woefully disappointed. I don't know. You can learn how to make a journal. I do talk about how to do it. We do spend some time on safety while we bandage ourselves up. I may cut that and knot it. This is what happens to me. This is one of the reasons, one of the many reasons. Should I put 911 on speed dial for you? Dial 911 and wait, Miss Sally. That's what I tell the wife all the time. Just dial 911 and wait. You know the opportunity is going to present itself. When I was a kid, my granny had a ball of string she let the cats play with. And when I would go to her house, there were times when I would get frustrated, as kids are wont to do, and she would give me that ball of string and ask me to unknot it for her. And I would sit out in the garage of her country home, madder than a hornet, with that ball of string, and unknot it for her. And I thought that I was doing her a huge favor. And the truth of the matter is, she let them cats knot that string on purpose, so that it would be there for me to unknot when I came back the next time. My granny's brilliant. Alright. So, let's see if we can get it to untwist just a little bit. Nope, I just make it fall off again. I'll tell you what, I'll just take it and do this a few times with it. And then we'll put the needle back through. Take another swig of beer. Wow. I may find out that I didn't get enough string to begin with. Take another swig of beer. Run that string back through there. Poke that through there. Poke that through there. Poke that through there. She knew I'd need those skills later on in life. She may not have known I needed those skills later on in life, but she knew how to keep a kid occupied. She was not the youngest, but I believe she had 5 brothers and sisters. She may have been the youngest. I don't remember. I'll have to ask her. Yep. Here we go. She may have been the youngest. Honestly, I don't remember if she was the youngest. Remember, when you go to tighten it perpendicular to the page, not parallel to the page. She may have been the youngest. I don't know. I don't remember. Ooh. Look at you. Doing 2 sides at once. I wonder what would happen if I took that like that and held that up like that. Think I'm cool enough to do it that way? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. I wonder what would happen if I put another board on the other side there to make that stay even. Every time I do this, and keep in mind, I don't do this often. I only do this once a year. Well, twice a year. No, the last time, the summer journals, I just staple. And you can do that. You could just staple them. That's what we did for the summer journal. We just stapled it. Remember? You don't have to sew it. You don't have to put yourself through this humiliation. Public purview. It really does help though that the needles, that the holes are all lined up perfectly because we drilled them like we did. Why doesn't that line up? What's going on? After I just bragged about that being all lined up and then didn't line up. I did this one time and I just punched a new hole every time I went through. Because, you know, I care. Accuracy is our thing, right? Okay, then we come out. And once we come out that side, we want to stop for a second. And we'll pull that one, and pull that one, and pull that one. Again, pulling perpendicular, not, I'm sorry, parallel, not perpendicular. Not perpendicular. We're pulling parallel, not perpendicular. Because if you pull perpendicular, it'll rip it out. So we're going to pull parallel to the book. All right, and again, it's every other one in the new signature. And now, if you look into our, what's happened here? Something's happened. If you look into our second signature, it's everyone, and in our first signature, where's our first signature? One, two, three, four. It's everyone in our first signature. Something's not right. Oh, I see what's happened. Hang on, I got you. We've got it flipped over. So there's our third signature. I got confused. Don't ever do that, it scares you. There's our first signature. Our last signature has every other one. Can you see? Our last signature has every other one. And then the second signature that one has everyone, and then our first signature has everyone, right? So now we'll take all of these, take our fourth signature over here, take our fourth signature, line it up over here like that, and line it up over there like that. Now I'm going to try that, what I was talking about a while ago. I'm going to take that board, and I'm going to put that board across there. I'm going to take another board, and I'm going to put it across the back side. I'm just going to try this. This is one I haven't tried before. Let's put that board across the back side. Make sure that tail is sticking out there. Clip that on one side. Clip that on the other side, and with any hope, those holes lined up. Right? That's our hope, is that the holes lined up. We'll see. Take that needle off there for a second, run that string a couple of times, see if I can't get some of those twists out there so that it doesn't coil up on me. Run that back through that needle. Alright, so we came out there. We need to go in there, which is still from the outside in. Alright, and then we're going to take that and we're going to go back. It's not as easy as all that, but it's a little easier than it was. At least I think it might be. Hang on, these are not lined up. Let me spend a second here lining them up. I think that helped. Okay. And we'll go. getting to the end of our string. Back out there. I'm on the wrong side of my light. Into there. Still not lined up. So what's wrong with it? It needs to go that way. Yeah. This is when it would really be helpful to be organized. Again, not our style. Pretty close. Had to get a folder cutting images for magazine collage. What? Oh, sorry. Okay, so where are we? Poking back through this way. And then through this way. I tell you what, I learned how to do this from watching YouTube videos. And the ones I learned the most from were Sammy Harding and Leslie Herger. Sammy Harding is the journal girl. You can find her all over Facebook and Twitter and the interwebs. Leslie Harding is Comfortable Shoes Studio and artjournaling.ning.com. If you go there to watch their videos, tell them I sent you. Tell them I still love them. And I still value everything I learned from them. And watch their videos, because their videos are awesome. And there's a lot to learn, especially at artjournaling.ning.com. She's got a big thing going on over there. I'm not allowed in there anymore. She's mad at me because I didn't vote for Obama. But that's a different story altogether. I'm sure that's not the reason. I'm just joking. Well, come on now. Come on now. We just need that to go right in there like that. Look at, we're just almost done. This is the last signature. We just have these last few ins and outs to make. Alright, that's in the way now. We're on the end game now. One of the things they would have taught you had you been playing along with them is to have the tails end up on the same side, because we still have to go back through there, and our tails are not going to be on the right side. Uh-oh. I mean, I could stop. I don't have to. There's no reason I have to do that. These, like, again, these are the reasons. What? What? APG says artjournaling.ning.com closed. Oh well. It was a great site. You had lots of good stuff on there. Houston, you have a problem. I do have a problem. But because we don't care about perfection on this show, and I'm not in the art journal making business, and I'm not in the bookbinding business, I can cheat. And I'm going to punch a new hole right there. And I'm going to, I may not have enough string though to do what I want to do. I may have to take just a little bit more string. I am going to cheat though. I'm going to take, I don't know, about that much more string. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to find my candle. I'm going to wax it. Alright. I'm going to tie a knot in this. Trim the edges. So I wish I had a cigarette lighter right here. I wish I had taken my needle off before I had done that. Oh my goodness. Alright, now let's try it again. I'll take my needle off and tie a knot in this. Y'all don't watch. It was important to take the needle off before I got to that point. Okay, so what should have happened, which is probably why I should have used an odd number of holes instead of an even number of holes. What should have happened was my string should have ended up on the same end as my tail, and it did not. So I'm going to cheat. I punched an extra hole in my third signature so that I didn't go around the end. And I'm going to just run back up. I'm going to run in and out of these strings. I say I'm going to. I guess, maybe I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm going to run in and out of these strings, every other one, just in some kind of semblance of tying them together. Until I get down to the other end. Almost there. Can't talk sewing. I can hand stitch a zipper into a pair of blue jeans, and I can thank Joyce Stockton, was my high school home ec teacher. And yes, I took home ec because that is where all of the girls were. And I like pretty girls. I know that shocks you. Okay, so let's pull that all the way through. I took home ec with Joyce Stockton. She taught me how to sew. She never taught me how to make a journal, though. That would have been handy. Okay, so where are we? We're going to come back in the second hole. Oh, good Lord. We didn't need the string attached to anything, did we? That wasn't important at all. Terry cut herself with her scissors. Terry's in the chat room. She just cut herself with the scissors. Did you draw blood? Because I don't want to be the only one. I just pulled a needle through the hole without any string on it. So, sewing 101, what not to do. Okay. We're just almost done with this portion of it. How are we doing on time? It's already 7:45. Luckily, we are at the end of this portion of it because there's really not much to do. What we're trying to do is we want to make sure that we have a stitch every other one, all the way across, and that when you open the signatures, you can't tell that we don't. I have to make sure that my knots get pulled through. Have to make sure I don't lose track of the end of my string. Who knows how many times I would sew with that needle without the string attached. Because I just have it pulled through. I don't have it knotted. You could knot it. Tell you a story about my home ec class. In my home ec class, we had to do a project. I took home ec with my best friend Kenny Horn. And we had to do a project, and the choices she gave the girls was to plan a meal or sew a dress. Those were the choices: plan a meal or sew a dress. Which neither one of those things were really up the alley of me and Kenny. Me and Kenny we weren't there to learn to sew. We weren't there to learn to cook. We were there because that's where the pretty girls were and we had a free hour. And so we went to her and we asked if we could do another type of project, and she said, like what? And we said we'd like to build some shelves. And to her credit and patience with us, she agreed. She was so, one of my knots came undone. She was so, I'll tell you what, we'd be better off just pulling that back through and knotting it on this side. She was so enthralled to have us in the class in the first place that, you know what, I tell you what, while we have the opportunity, let's get rid of this other knot then. She was so enthralled to have us in the class in the first place that she had a tremendous amount of patience with us. And she let us do it. She let us build shelves instead of sew a dress or plan a meal. Deeply religious woman, Joyce Stockton, very, very strong in her convictions. We're still friends today. She's a prominent member of she at one point was a prominent member of the Tea Party in Chickasha, Oklahoma. Good friend of mine. She's a great friend of mine. I learned a tremendous amount from Joyce Stockton. But man, did we abuse her in that class. Because let me tell you about those shelves. My buddy Kenny and I, she said, well, how will you show us the shelves? I said, well, we'll take pictures of the progress. And she said, okay. So she agreed to let us do it. My buddy Kenny and I went to my parents' house, where I was living at the time, because I was a minor child. And we proceeded to take pictures of us using a table saw, scattering sawdust. We had beer bottles and wine cooler bottles laying all around. We took pictures of us. We took pictures of us using a hammer, using a tape measure. Every picture had a wine cooler, bottle of beer, cigarettes, because we were cool. We were mocking the bye Jamie. We were mocking the teacher. I'm done with the needle. I'm gonna put the needle back in my box. We were mocking the teacher, so we were cool like that. She had her convictions, and we were mocking her because we were cool. And anyway, so every picture had wine cooler, beer bottle, cigarettes, and we built a beautiful set of shelves in my dad's garage, mounted them to the wall, stacked all of his tools and stuff on the shelves, and took pictures. And I still have the pictures somewhere. They're great pictures. I need to dig them out and show them, especially at a class reunion if I ever manage to make it to one of my class reunions. But the funny thing about it is we never built the shelves. My dad built those shelves probably 5 years before we ever even thought about it. And all we did was stage the photos. But they're great pics. They're great pics. Okay, so here's all of our signatures sewn together. And when you go to the inside of our signatures, the middle of our signatures have a row where the string looks like it's solid, but it's going in and out. Right? And that's true for all of the signatures all the way through the book. There's no gap between the signatures, or at least not much of a gap between the signatures. Nothing masking tape won't cover. But you have that all the way through all the signatures. Right? Now, we're going to take our ribbon, and we could have done this as we were going. What did I do with my ribbon? I had the ribbon. It's not in my box. It's not sitting up here on top. There it is. I found it. Okay, so we're going to take our ribbon and we're going to cut it, I don't know, 4 inches? Let's go a little longer. Now let's get rid of that one because we cut it already. 4 inches is probably enough, but let's go a little longer. Let's go, I don't know, 6 inches. I don't know if that's 6 inches or not. That's what I tell my wife. And 3's all we need. We have a spare. Yeah, we did, Carol. Carol's in the chat room saying that we probably worked harder staging the photos than if we had just built the shelves. And you're right. We did. It would have been way easier just to build the shelves, but it wouldn't have been near as much fun. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take the ribbon, and this is why I should have included it in this process, but it won't hurt anything. Okay, so where's my book cover? I just had it. Oh, the dog's down on it. She's a good dog. Gotta get rid of my stool. I gotta stand up for this part. Ignoring that last crack. Being so good. Which crack is that, Carol? I bet she knew what y'all were doing and was just glad to have you out of her class. No, because when I told her about it years later, she just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. Okay, so let's take this and let's see. I need these signatures to line up on the bottom. I may have pulled the string too tight. It won't hurt anything, I don't think, because we're not into perfection. But when I go to glue all this together, I want to make sure that I get as good a glue coverage as possible. Uh-oh, electricity's flickering. I'm going to take that board, I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to take that board, I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to use bigger clamps because I want a stronger grip. You could use bull clips for this. I don't think they'd work as well. I think the key to this is a nice strong, just to keep a nice strong grip on it. Stabbed as far up into the inside of it as possible. Like that. Okay, so that's going to hold that together for me. It's going to hold all that together for me. And then we're going to move on to the next step. Now, somewhere over here, I looked for them earlier and I thought I had them set out. Yeah, they're over here under the tricycle. Oh crap, I missed it. Oh, there it is. Found it. I have these little. Stands that you're supposed to put on spider webs. Y'all need to see the spider webs, don't you? These little stands that you're supposed to put under your table leg. So if you have a regular folding table, these stands will put your folding table at work height, right? And I have 4 of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbons and we're going to lay them across there. 1, 2. You know what? Let's just go ahead and use all 4 of them. 3. Actually, I don't know if I want to. That last one's too short. Okay. So let's just stick with the 3 then. We have these 3 ribbons. We don't want to glue the book to the back binding. Because believe it or not, that'll make it where it won't open and close. So we don't want to glue the book to the back binding. So we need, this is when our Mod Podge comes in handy. We get our Mod Podge, decoupage, if you will. Mod Podge is a brand, decoupage is an acrylic glue that dries to a nice solid plastic. These are not flower pots. These stands are specifically, look on the inside, you can see they're girded. So that when you set your table leg inside there, it distributes the weight evenly. These hold your table so you can put your table up on work height. They're pretty cool. I'm sorry, I was responding to somebody. Those of you watching on YouTube may not know. I was responding to Miss Allie K. So we're going to put a little glue there. A lot of glue there. We're going to put a lot of glue there. And we're going to put that across there like that. And then we're going to put a lot of glue there. And there. And we'll put that across there like that. Same thing over here. One more. Put some glue there. Put some glue there. And put that across there like that. Now then, let's dry that just a little bit. We may stop here. I know it's 8 o'clock. I know it's 8 o'clock. I know that you're getting tired. You've been watching me for a long time. We still haven't done what's on your easel. So, how about we take a little break? How about we take just a little? I just want to seal this a little bit so it doesn't pull up when we get to the next part. So we'll hit that with some air and some heat. We'll take a little 30-second potty break. Everybody go potty, and I will come back and we'll finish gluing this up. I'll come back, we'll do what's on your easel, and then we'll finish gluing this up. If you want to be a part, this is your opportunity. If you want to be a part of what's on your easel, simply send an email to blade@artisticbiker.com with the subject line easel. I'll be right back. I don't have a kid to sing to you. This is when it was really handy when we were doing live. When we were doing live broadcasts, this is when it was really handy to have a kid in the room with us, because I could tell her, I could say, "Sing, baby," and she'd sing. Shall we sing to each other? Row, row, in the chat room singing to each other, and I would say, "Sing, baby," and she would sing, and she would, "I love my daddy. He is the best daddy ever. My favorite daddy." Where's my phone? Need the phone because that's how we show the easels. Okay. Here we go. I found my phone. Terry didn't get to work on any art this week. Had a bee problem. They invaded her art room. I hate when that happens. Okay, so back to the other room. What's on your easel? What's on your easel? What's on your easel? What's on your easel today? Gotta enter the right code. Somebody's sending me text messages. Oh, my poor wife is upstairs. She needs a slushie. Okay. Email. blade@artisticbiker.com. Inbox. Easel. Pamela French. Let's just, tell you what, let's... Easel. Is it seriously? I just had the one? I thought there were more than that. Oh no! How to draw legs. I have a lot of how-to stuff in my email. Botanical photos for your use. Pamela sent me botanical photos. Oh, she sent me more botanical photos. Look at this one. For me to paint because I'm taking a botanical photo class. But that wasn't easels. Scrolling. Keep that email scrolling. Rawhide. Alright. Oh, she did a watercolor pear. And I think I see some grapes up there in the upper corner. be fun to see what that's going to turn into. She's doing a little still life. Is that? I hate this paper, but here's my attempt at a pear. Okay, so she's using cold pressed paper. I'm using hot pressed paper for my pear. Okay, so that's all anybody sent to me. I have to advertise that more. If you want to be a part of what's on your easel, send an email to blade@artisticbiker.com with easel as your subject line. I will use your works to inspire other people to do works. Me, I have, let's see, I got a handful of things to show you this week. Not much, just a few things. So we continue to do... Okay. So I continue to do the 30-second gesture drawings every morning. That's a fun way to drink a cup of coffee. And then I went to figure drawing, and Callie was the model, and she is a fabulous model. Let me tell you a little bit about Callie. Callie, she is a fabulous model. Callie, when you first start learning to draw the figure, everybody learns to draw the figure from the same sources. You know, you learn how to draw like a comic book, or you learn from the How to Draw a Figure books. I can't show you the rest because I gave them to her. You learn from the How to Draw a Figure books, but one of the first things you learn is, you start drawing the musculature and stuff like a superhero kind of thing. And then when you start drawing real people, you start scaling it back because you want to draw those big biceps and triceps and quadriceps and deltoids and glutes and all that stuff. You want to draw all that big stuff in like you're used to doing, but then you realize real people aren't built like that. Real people have curves. Real men have curves. So you learn to scale that back, and you learn and you do that so that when you're sketching quickly, you can sketch a little bit from memory, a little bit abstract, because you don't have very much time to catch the person. You want to catch the things that are the essence of that person, and then the rest of it's just essence of people in general, right? So you get to where you can do it quickly. And then you go to sketch somebody like Callie. Excuse me. And Callie is beautiful, and she is a bodybuilder, yoga instructor, and she's fabulous to draw. And the thing you have to remember when you draw Callie is she's built like a superhero. So when you see that tricep bow way out there like that, when you see that tricep is thrown way out there, let me find one. When you see those delts thrown way out there and a tricep thrown way out there, when you see that on her and you start to scale it back, then you remember, oh wait, it's Callie. Callie's really built that way. You really have to do the superhero thing for her. So anyway, when we were done, when I was done with figure drawing that night, I gave her a couple of the end ones, and then again we're still doing the 30-second gesture drawings, and then I have been doing quite a few. I'm just letting the glue dry. We're only going through this while the glue is drying. But there have been, there's the pinup from last week. That was Wednesday, and then the next day was Thursday. So been doing the faces. I had a friend challenge me to, okay, I had a friend challenge me to draw his wife, and he's on vacation in Memphis, and he sends a picture of his wife in chat. I don't know did I show you that one? Anyway, he sends me a picture of his wife, and he sends me a picture of his wife and says, hey, draw this, and just to irritate her. And so I drew it, and then he fires back with, oh, that's a good one, do this one. And he sends me this other picture, and this other picture has his wife in the foreground and then has this other dude in the background. And I zoomed in on the dude, and I said, that's a weird request, but okay, I'll do it. Here's my wife. You okay? Do you need anything? Or are you just here to see what I'm doing? you want to say hi to the people? No, you don't want to be on camera? I love you very much. You're beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Oh, she gave me the. I can't believe you touch the children with those fingers. Potty fingers. Mm. So, and then on Friday I did a face. I do faces on Fridays. And continue to do the. These are all 2 minutes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. So this is a 10-minute page. And then I did a watercolor ballerina. And then along with that goes the nightly faces. Is anybody playing along with... I really like the sheer cover on the pinup. Last week's pinup. Right. They said they're sorry you aren't well. And that your husband's a jerk. They didn't say that. So is anybody else playing along with Aola art? Let's see. Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. I'm not going to show you the whole book. I'm just going to flip through it really quickly because I intend to do a flip through when it's all done. But I have been doing nightly faces for Aola Arts, 29 faces. She does 29 faces in February and in September. And this was last night's. And that's all done in fountain pen. I go straight to pen. I don't use pencil at all. That's straight to pen. And so what I do is I do the 10 minutes worth of faces, and then I do the nightly face. Yeah, she has strep throat. She's got the plague, the black plague. And then I've done one random object random modifier, and here's we talk about using a fountain pen. Here's the joy of using a fountain pen. And when you make a mistake, you're married to it. So while everything's out of proportion on there, at least I finished it. But once you make a mistake, you're married to it. So that was my random object, random modifier, and then I did a mini. And this is the last thing I'll show you because then we can go back to this. See, this is dry here, so we can go back to this. The object with the minis is, we're going alphabetical, right? So the first week we did A is for alcohol. The next week we did B is for honey. The next week after that we did C is for sea. And then this week we have this one. If anybody can guess what that is, it's D for Dawn. Yeah, not my best. Absolutely. Carol's in there talking about my effort on my random object, random modifier. Yeah, not my best, and don't I know it? Oh my goodness, I was not happy. I was like, I'm not showing this to anybody. But then I remembered the whole point of this is to show people that you don't have to be great to do stuff. You can do stuff for learning, or you can do stuff for fun, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect. And if I can show you my imperfections, then maybe that gives you permission to fail also. Dawn. D is for Dawn. It works better on this other camera. We need to go back to this other camera anyway. D is for Dawn. Little game we're playing. Okay, so again, that is what's on your easel. That was what was on my easel. If you'd like to be a part of what's on your easel, just send an email to blade@artisticbiker.com with the subject line easel, and we will use your works to inspire other people, because that's the whole point of us being here, is to inspire people to get up and create. Figure out whatever it is they like to create, whether it's poetry, sculpture, love making. I don't care. I want videos. I want pictures. Wait, what were you talking about? Art. Thank you. I don't care what your creative outlet is. Share it with the world. That you were given a creative gift for a purpose. Share it with the world. So that's the point. blade@artisticbiker.com, subject line easel. Obviously, if you're sending me pictures of your lovemaking endeavors, I'm not going to share that with the world, but I might paint it. Anyway, yeah. Pamela said, oh, the pear! I forgot about the pear. Crap. Okay, and I'm taking I'm taking a botanical watercolor course. I've got this Arches hot pressed paper, and all I've done so far is lay in the lights and the midtones. That's all I've done so far. And I haven't even gone to the full midtones. I did the lights, and then I did the second tier lights to make sure that the highlights weren't completely lost. Because this isn't the darkest, this isn't even the middle. This isn't the darkest, this isn't even the middle. And this is not the lightest. This right here is the lightest. But you couldn't see that, so we went one tier further. And so next week, before the show, probably Saturday or Sunday, I'll come back and I'll do the midtones and the darks and finish it up. But that's my pair. So I forgot about that one. Thanks, Pamela. I forgot about that one. So again, if you want to be a part of What's on Your Easel, send an email to blade@artisticbiker.com, subject line easel. We will use your works to inspire others. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Now you can see that the glue is kind of dried on the ribbon, and that's what we cared about. And so I'm going to take a little dollop of glue here. I want to stay on the ribbon, not on the cardboard. It might even be worthwhile to put wax paper under the ribbon, but I don't have any wax paper handy just to stop it from soaking through. But we want to put the glue on the ribbon and not on the cardboard. We do not want to glue the book to the spine, because if you glue the book to the spine, the book will not open and close properly. Right? Okay. So now we're going to take this and we're going to stand it up. We're going to push all this paint out of the way. We're going to take this and we're going to stand it up right on the spine. And we're just going to kind of press it down into the glue a little bit. Maybe wiggle it around a little. Again, trying to keep the glue on the ribbon and not on the spine. And then I'm going to use these. I'm going to use these things to hold that in place. If I turn them over the direction I've turned them, they'll hold the paper up. These aren't as heavy as the ones I've used before, so I'm going to add some weight to them. This isn't heavy either. I'm going to add some, there, that'll work. I'm going to add a little bit of weight to them. I have a set of round ones that are really heavy, that are perfect for this. Terracotta potting plants would be perfect for this, or pots would be perfect for this, except I don't have any. And I'm going to eyeball, kind of make sure that I keep the whole thing straight on the spine. I'm not into perfection, so it's not that big a deal to me if it's not perfect, but I still kind of want to keep it straight down the middle of the spine, right? Okay. So that's that. The only thing left to do beyond that is the inside cover and then the decoupage. And so that's right. The watercolor Carol's in the chat room saying that watercolor is all about the layers, then it's not easy. Let's take a second here. I'll tell you, I'm taking a class with an online class with Anna Mason. I signed up for a year's membership at Anna Mason's watercolor website, and it just opens it up to all of the tutorials and stuff. So what I figure I'll do is I'll spend it at least a year. The problem that I have always run into, and we've got a minute while glue sets here. The problem that I've always run into with watercolors, with all of my art in general, is that I lack the patience to go in for the fine details. I've never developed the discipline or the patience to go in for the fine details. I hate to use the stereotypical man, but once I figured out how to do it, I'm done. I don't have to do any more. I don't need to do anything else. I've managed to do everything that I care about. But the fact of the matter is that there's a whole lot more to art than just the creative process. Because if you've got just having the creative process and not the technical ability to express the creative process, kind of hampers you in what you can do with your creativity. You can be as creative as you want to. You can walk around all day long, all along, being just as creative as you want to. But if you can't share that creativity in a practical application, then you can't create art. So, and that leads me to my definition of art. And there's all kinds of people out there that'll tell you what art is. Some people will tell you that a cup of urine is a piece of art. Some people tell you that a pile of trash is a piece of art. Some people tell you that paint spatters. They'll put canvases on the edge of their studio, and then when they paint on this canvas and whatever spatters on that canvas, they'll call that art too. And maybe it is because it was a creative process that got them to that. Maybe all of it is because it was a creative process that got you to that. But the point is it's the practical application of the creativity. You imagined what you wanted to express, and then you found a technical way, a practical way to express it and share it with other people. Whether it's because you were able to write it down, you were able to record it on video, even if all you ever did was carve it into the sand of the beach and the ocean washed it away, you still had a practical application of your creativity, so it's still art. So without the discipline and the patience to do the details, I was hampering my creativity because there's things I want to do that I don't have the technical skills to do. It's not because I don't have the technical ability to do it. I just don't have the training. So I'm slowing down. I'm learning some patience. I'm learning some discipline. Anna Mason, A-N-N-A, Anna Mason, M-A-S-O-N. She's British. She has a lot of watercolor books, a lot of watercolors out there, and she has a website, annamason.com, and she has a school associated with it. And I signed up with her to take a year's worth, to at least have a year's subscription. I paid for the whole year, and so I'm going to go through each lesson at about 2 weeks a lesson for all I can do, and then maybe I continue on, maybe I never do it again. Who knows? We'll see what a year brings us, right? So that is the thing. She uses transparent watercolors. I bought the watercolors that I bought. Where are they? I posted a picture of it on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm the Artistic Biker on Facebook, and I am Blade21292 on Instagram. I posted a picture of it because it is basically my daughter's college fund. Here they are. Couldn't see them. This is basically my daughter's college fund because they are Winsor & Newton watercolors, and Winsor & Newton watercolors are not cheap, even for these little bitty tubes. Most of these tubes are like $7 a piece, and one of these tubes is like $18. Like, damn, $18 for 8 ounces. I need to be in the watercolor business. Okay, so that gets us back to where we are here. Somehow I need to figure out how to move these without losing this. Is there a way to clamp everything to those? Do I have any bigger clamps? Ah! Don't lose anything off the table. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do here. Who's leaving? Hey, Pamela. You're not going to stay to see me dance? I know I'm staying late. This is what happens. This is what happens when you run long. Thanks for coming out. Okay. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? Can we do it again? Do I have another one that big? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Whoa! Whoa! That's not helpful at all. Ooh. Ooh, I have an idea. What if we did this? Ah! Alright. Now, we'll take this Brahms cover and take the Mod Podge, and I'm going to get a bigger brush so it goes faster. If I can. Well, I really can't use a bigger brush, can I? I can't use a bigger brush. Except got the little jar of Mod Podge. That's not in the right place anyway. I need to move that over. I'm glad I moved that. It's a good thing I moved that so I could see what was going on there. That wasn't in the right place anyway. Or I moved it. Ah, who knows. Okay. So let's take our Mod Podge and let's spread it out on here. Mod Podge. Spreading the Mod Podge. Generous amounts of Mod Podge. Again, making sure not to get any on the spine. We are not trying to get it on the spine. We are trying to overlap the edges down here. We do want an even coat so that we don't have bubbles. And then we want to take this page, which is probably not right anyway. Let's fold it in half. And lay it on there, right there. Just like that. Just like that. I may end up coming back with masking tape around there because it's, like I said, it's not big enough. Right there, you can see it doesn't overlap like it's supposed to. But it's going to work for my purposes. I may come back with some masking tape. And then we're going to take Mod Podge on this. Oh crap! On this side. Where's my spritzer? I'm going to lubricate it. Make the Mod Podge spread a little easier. All the way out to the edge. All the way out to the edge. Right. This stick is in the way. Don't panic. Don't panic. Because now we're going to take this and I'm going to roll it. I'm going to poke it right up into the crease. I'm going to roll it right up onto there, like that. Take that clip, move it right up on there like that. Ah! Clip that back. Roll that right back into place. Take that clip. Roll that right up into place. Put that back. Put that back. Put that back. There are way easier ways to do this. And number one easier way to do this is let all the glue dry before you get to this point. I do not want to let all the glue dry before I get to this point. That is what is driving what is happening right now. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it. Tell you what, I'm going to run with this scenario that I have going on the other side, and I'm going to clamp that to that and move that, and then I'm going to take that, move that to that, clamp that to that, and move that. All of this is because I don't want to wait for the glue to dry. If I were patiently waiting for the glue to dry, this would not be an issue. I am going to come back. I'm going to add just a little more because it's moving. I'm going to add a little more glue there, there, and there, and I want to make sure that I'm not gluing it to the spine. And then I'll lubricate that. Run some Mod Podge all the way around the edges. This is when I really wish I could use my left hand a little bit more efficiently, but I cannot. I don't know, maybe I can. Let's try. I have found that my left hand has become way more useful since I started arting. 10 years ago, 9 years ago, when I first started this show, my left hand was absolutely useless. And I've actually found that since I have started doing art, I have been able to do more with my left hand. I just don't think about doing stuff with my left hand, because my left hand is sinister. But it's like somebody else is doing it, so. Terry, are you leaving too? Thank you so much. That just leaves Miss Allie K. And is Picola still around? Pensacola still around? And Carol. Alright. So then we'll take that, push that right up in that crease. Again, we don't want to glue it to the I'm going to have to use masking tape to make that match because this isn't big enough. We don't want to glue it to the spine though. Really, really important that we don't glue it to the spine. Alright, lubricate that. Do the Mod Podge again. All the way out to the edge. Except it takes both hands because this moves around. All the way out to the edge. little bit more. This will make your paper really soggy. So I don't need the brush anymore because we're done with the brush for the night. Now I'm going to take that, I'm going to run it right up on there like that. Push it right down into that crease. Just as best as I can, just push that right down into that crease. Put that up there. Put that back. Put that up there. Right down into that crease. Put that up there. Put that back. Take that off. Put that all the way up on there. Put that off. Put that all the way up on there. We'll put this back down through there. Put this. Back down through there. I'm going to clamp it together on this side. About done. Miss Allie says my 9 p.m. Eastern streamer canceled. I can't believe you leave me for somebody else anyway. Now I'm jealous. Clamp this on this side. Well, there's probably somebody out there actually doing artwork. All right. And that, my friends, is it. We're done, except for waiting for the glue to dry. And see how I can push that all the way up on there, keep tension on the board without putting any pressure on there. That's why I like these things, is because they're V-shaped. They let me push them up there and keep pressure on that to hold that upright. Let that glue dry, and then I don't know where I have any 2-inch masking tape. I had a whole bunch of 2-inch masking tape. I need to get some more. We can dry it with the hair dryer. It is why I have a hair dryer. I would never leave you for Jen, even if she's from Australia. Wait. Is she a redhead? Ah, I'd leave me for a redhead. Blade needs to get his sweet wife a drink soon. Poor woman is waiting. No, she has. Don't be. Before I started the show, I made sure she had a vanilla shake from McDonald's. She had a vanilla Coke. She had an order of fries. She has a bowl of homemade chicken soup that I made for her. I made chicken noodle soup from scratch for her. She has a bowl of homemade chicken noodle soup. And she has a liter tumbler of ice cold water. She has everything she needs to make multiple trips to the bathroom. And I need to pay attention to her. Don't get me wrong. I love her. But I don't want you to think for a second that I've neglected her. She came downstairs because she got last night. Oh, she was so miserable. She was laying there in bed. She was freezing to death. She's under the covers and she's just shaking. And she's doing the shaking where her whole leg is moving. And I said, you know what you need is you need heavy covers. And I went and got a heavy blanket and I laid the heavy blanket on top of her. And she was out like a light because I take care of her. She's important to me. She's more important to me than you. So I took care of her first. And Carol says, well, in that case, to hell with her. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so I think, boys and girls, I think we've done all the damage we can really do tonight. I really think that at this point it's just a matter of letting the glue dry. And then I'll come back with some masking tape. I'll get some 2-inch masking tape and I'll go around the inside of that with masking tape to overlay. I shouldn't have to. This should have been bigger. But I think this is a Christmas sack and I think it was smaller. Who knows? But let's dry it just a little bit with the hopes that it won't all come undone. And then maybe I can show you. Because remember, the glue on the ribbon was already dry. Sorry, I didn't mean it. I did. Carol, you'd fit in perfectly in our house, so that's exactly how we thought. What in the hell with you? I already brought you candy. Give you a kiss. What am I, your love slave? No, the tiny servants right now are at the movies. I'll bet you we're dry enough. First off, let me get these sticks out of here before I poke myself in the eye with them. I'll bet you that we're dry enough that I can show you what this looks like. I don't want to take. I'm going to end up using these, so I need to make sure and keep track of them. We could probably close the book and let it dry overnight. Closed. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to. I don't want to put too much strain on it, opening it up, but I think I may close it. Yeah. So I'm going to close it and I'll clamp it up before the night's over. But the last thing that I want to do, see how when you open it, see then it's, I'm not going to put any strain on it by trying to open it all the way up. I want the glue to dry before we put any strain on it. But the last thing that I want to do before we finish out is I'm going to put, people ask me, do you have a card? And I hand them a card, and it's a 2 of spades, but on the other side it says Artistic Biker, artisticbiker.com, bladed.artisticbiker.com. The new ones actually have my phone number and everything on it. This is one of the first ones I ever did. So, but we're going to take that and we're going to put it right there. So I want to, first thing I want to do, it was curved the wrong way, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to curve it so that it curves towards the book and not away from the book. I want to scuff the plastic off of it, so I want to make sure that the Mod Podge adheres to it nicely. I don't have to do too much to it because we're not trying to put a finish on it or anything. We just want to little spritz of water, get all the dust out of the way. We just want to make sure we scuff it up enough that the Mod Podge has something to grip onto. And take that back apart. My dog left me. Normally my dog's down here with me. My dog left me. You want to prank call me or you want to prank call her? We don't have a house phone, Miss Sally. She has a cell phone and I have a cell phone. We decided we didn't need a house phone anymore. The idea of sending the kids to the movies was so that while I was doing the show and couldn't chase the kids, they would be out of the house and not causing her any stress. So there's that. Now I need something heavy to put on top of that, like this. So before I go any further, I'm going to show you. This is what the finished book is going to look like. It's going to look just like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to take on top of that, and I'm going to put this package of multimedia paper, and I'm going to put a weight on top of it. And then I'll put these over here to weight this end down, and then we should be able to do the first page of fall next week. So there you have it, boys and girls. The only thing we're going to do to it now that you're not going to get to see is I'm going to I'll hit that cover with a satin coat, clear coat spray can. This one, satin clear coat, and I'll do that so that it doesn't smear the paint. Or smear the pencil. If I go in with a brush, the graphite and charcoal on the original drawing may smear, and so I don't want that. I want the drawing to stay crisp, and so I'll take the spray paint and I'll seal it first, and then I'll come back with a coat of satin, either matte or satin Mod Podge decoupage, and seal the whole cover. And then on the inside, I'll take some masking tape and I'll go around the edge to overlap where the inside cover did not overlap the outside cover. Because really, the whole point of that is to hold the thing to the backing. Everything else is just aesthetics. The whole point of that is to hold the signatures into the backing. The signatures are sewed together, and then the inside paper holds, and the ribbon holds the signatures to the backing so that you can open and close it, and then the cover is just to make it pretty. You don't have to have a cover. It wasn't necessary. It just makes it pretty. So same thing with the spine. You don't have to have a spine. I just like the spine. So that's all that's left to do. I will do that, and then I'll show it all to you next week. Same Artistic Biker Tang, same Artistic Biker channel. We'll probably finish on time. We ran an hour long this time. We'll probably finish on time next week because I'll already have all that done, and we will do the first page dedicated to fall, because tomorrow is the first day of fall, or is today the first day of fall, or is tomorrow the first day of fall? One of these 2 days is the first day of fall according to the Gregorian calendar. So there you have it. As far as the Gaelic calendar is concerned, we're already halfway through fall. But as far as the Gregorian calendar starts tomorrow, either today or tomorrow was the first day of fall. So next week we'll do the first official page of fall, because the very first, where'd it go? I had it out here. To show you. What did I do with it? Obviously, I've piled something on top of it, but can I find it in time to make sense with what I'm saying? I don't even know how this happens. Seriously. Oh, put it up there. Rub the Buddha. So, the very first art journal we did on the show, the very first page was the State Fair of Oklahoma, which I did not broadcast, a water droplet, which I did not broadcast, some birch trees, which I did not broadcast, pumpkin, which I did not broadcast. This was the first one that I broadcast. All the rest of them, the couple before that I did on YouTube, but I didn't do it live. This I did before a live internet audience. And this is a picture of my baby, who is now 13, in her little pink pirate costume from that Halloween in 2009. She's 13 now. Good God. Oh. And the bookmark holder is a ghost. So, that is why, because this was a store-bought journal, we didn't make a journal for this page and this page. We bought a journal, but then this would have been the first page of fall, and then it would be Halloween season. So that's the tradition we're running with. So next week we will do our tribute to fall. You'll get to see the completed journal. Everything will be coded, everything will be taped, everything will be ready to go. And then we'll do the first page of fall. And then let me look at the calendar. Let me make sure I'm not crazy. Because today is the 20th. Next week is the 27th. The week after that is the 4th, which means it's October and it's the Halloweeny season. So we're coming up fast. Be sure and tune in next week. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody is cool enough to tell me that they see me dancing. Because when they say that they see me dancing, then I know that the lag has caught up. And once the lag has caught up, I don't have to worry about anybody missing the announcements about the fall page and the Halloweeny season. I want to make sure everybody sees that. Nobody's going to tell me. I know you can see me dancing because I can see me dancing. Nobody's going to tell me. Look at you go. You're mean. You people are mean. You're just mean. Goodness. Alright, so taking clothes off. I'm lying. I'm not going to take any clothes off. Thank you. Peace out, Carol.